Oh, all right. At the request of Envoy, who probably will not be appearing in the stream because my turnover rate for repeat uh, viewers is kind of at the bottom of the trenches. I thought I'd do this. I guess give my position on the Alabama abortion bill, which I've already identified as someone that's pro-choice. So it's kind of you can kind of guess what it will be. But let's read this article, go through it, and just kind of give a position afterward. Okay, Alabama's governor on Monday said she doesn't expect any tourism fallout from the state's new anti-abortion law. Governor Kay Ivey, Republican, told the Associated Press she expects people will still want to visit the state despite recent protests over the law. Alabama has a lot of different varieties of things to visit and enjoy, and our visitors will continue to come, Ivey said. The AP asked Ivey about potential backlash after a press conference about the state's tourism industry. The law has prompted some calls on social media for a boycott of the state. In Georgia, a controversial heartbeat abortion bill led to a push for a boycott by Hollywood celebrities. The Georgia governor, Brian Kemp, the wonderful politician who did not rig his election at all by purging voters, actually said that these were C-list celebrities who wouldn't affect anything. Ivey last week signed into law the most restrictive anti-abortion legislation in the country. It makes all abortions a felony, except when the mother's life is at risk. The state does not make exceptions for cases of rape and incest. So that's why you've seen Republicans start getting pissed off about this law, because for as bad as I think it is to already just say, okay, well, you can't have one, if you screw up once, that's it. It's even more insane to even more people to say, wait a second, this person got raped and this person got molested, by some family member, and this is whatever comes out is going to be some weird, whatever. So it's all good. It's all perfectly fine. No issue with that whatsoever. Jesus Christ, 2019 America. Ivey last week. Let's see. Do we have this? Okay. The law is slated to take effect in 6 months and expected to face multiple legal challenges before then. Ivey has said she signed the law knowing it would be unenforceable. Doesn't that sound like an oxymoron? Hey, let's sign a law that will not actually do anything, that we can actually enforce. Oh my God. State lawmakers have acknowledged that the measure is designed to challenge the landmark Roe v. Wade Supreme Court ruling that extended abortion rights nationwide. Republicans, including President Trump, recently said that while they oppose abortion, they think the Alabama law goes too far because it does not provide exceptions for rape and incest. See that, Republicans? Trump doesn't even like this, so now you guys can. It's okay for you to not like it. I really would love to just do a stream of all the different Republican politicians that it seems like every single position they have is jockeyed around whatever Trump's position is, because they want his voters to back them so badly that they don't actually stand for anything anymore except being wannabe Trump clones, except not funny and not really well liked, or just seen as having any of the redeeming qualities that Trump as an orator would have. But getting back to this law, don't you find it funny that you can have a law referring to Roe v. Wade for 40 years and then it still gets challenged, and people still try to fight it and say, "Oh, we need to have our new state law." It's like, no, you guys don't realize that the whole point of any of this stuff is that when you have a law, it's enforced, and if you want to challenge it, you get a constitutional amendment. That's why when they say they're worried about liberals repealing Roe v. Wade, that's particularly having to do, not Roe v. Wade, excuse me, slip of the tongue, the Second Amendment. They're specifically referring to the idea of liberals eventually, let's say, having enough seats in the House and Senate to pass that kind of law, that an amendment. Of course, such a thing will never happen because neither party seems to be able to really appeal to either side anymore. So it's all good. And really, what I find even more disturbing is that you have to ask yourself, if a law can be around for over 40 years and still have people trying to screw with it, when do we get to a point where like these pro-life groups die out? Because you can go back to the 70s, 80s. A lot of these different groups got their startup when that law wasn't that old. It's really telling of how, and I've said this before, I think people when they're so in favor of one thing or another, they start to kind of be what you could call parodies of themselves. So if I were, let's say, talking to one of these right, and I've spoken to some of them about this topic. I've had them tell me that I'm evil for getting rid of this child, for not letting it come to fruition, all this stuff, right? And I don't take these people seriously because, as I've said before, all these different pro-life groups have turned a complete blind eye to the thousands upon thousands of deaths that these U.S. interventions abroad have caused. So I don't even want to hear anything about your belief in the sanctity of life. It's all grandstanding, basically, and it's proven by that fact. Um, and to be fair, you do have some pro-life non-interventionalists, but they still don't, like, you'll never see them go out and say, okay, I'm not going to support any of these people that, while they're pro-life, they like these interventions or they vote for these. So it still doesn't go far enough, as far as convincing you, hey, this person actually is very concerned with what's going on, across all cylinders. No, it's just them taking this one social issue and dragging it up and just skyrocketing it to where nothing else matters. They do the same thing with immigration. And they're doing it with this now. Like, I guarantee you, in that state, which uh, let's just put it like this: every single state has problems of some kind. Over in California, we have all this homelessness. You could attribute it to us having more people than any other state, but you get my point, that there's individual problems with each state, and for some reason they can't decide for themselves if we should focus on messing with the law that's been around for 40 years or dealing with some of the poverty and low wages and different economic issues that are going on in our state currently. But they don't have to, because what the media is going to do is, anytime you refer to politics in Alabama, they're going to talk about this abortion law, and then just make it be this thing that gets swept up over and over. Like, it's already going to other states. I think in Louisiana, the Democratic governor over there is being tempted to sign it. And again, they're all signing a law that they can't do anything with. So, like, imagine I say, oh, I'm gonna have a law where we outlaw, I don't know, getting gas twice a day. And then after I sign, I go, but these gas stations actually are right next to each other, and it's actually against the law to do that. So this is unenforceable, but I want to challenge the ruling of this being a thing that cannot be enforced. Then that sounds really stupid, because you're acknowledging I am signing a law that cannot do what it sets out to do by being signed, which is be enforced. But then I'm still going to sign it anyway, just so I can challenge the status quo. Like, no, you're not doing anything except grandstanding, and that's the whole reason that this law is stupid. That you have these people who are freaking out. It's like, guys, the same people who thought that it was dumb to say, oh, every single person who has an abortion is evil and they don't care about life and they should, be in prison and all this crap, are going to be the same ones who oppose it, who oppose restricting it, and the same ones who support restricting it, that go around fear mongering about, oh my God, you baby killer, while they support military interventions that kill babies every day overseas, ironically enough, are going to be the same ones who are still in favor of it. So there's no palpable difference here. It's just grandstanding. Like, who in any kind of capacity of wanting to make actual tangible change, and I'm not talking about an activist, I'm talking about a politician. What politician is going to sit back and go, yeah, I actually want to make a difference, that's why I'm not going to have the law, I'm going to sign this law that I can't do anything with. Okay, Ruben says the establishment Democrats and their followers low-key support the new abortion law in Alabama, too, because now they get an excuse to grandstand over minor issues. Oh, they love this, man. That's why I said grandstanding, but it's not just the Republicans. The Democrats are going to take this and they're going to, like, blow it up so much, just like they did with Kavanaugh, right? Where they turned the accusations into the main issue when the main issue should have been that he votes with corporations over 87% of the time. They blow up a particular component of these different stories or issues to make everything around it completely disappear. So Schumer, Pelosi, all the other clowns in Congress can grandstand about abortion for the next year or so, whenever this law, is like, because, there's going to be more developments as time goes on, and they can completely ignore single payer, uh, free college, and in the wars, the Green New Deal, all of it will just get completely shoved to the back burner for them to give these stupid speeches. We are opposed to the new abortion law. It's like, well, it doesn't matter because it can't be enforced anyway. Talk about something you can actually change. I mean, like these douchebags, man. So I'm saying I really wish somebody would primary Pelosi, but whatever. We're not. She's not the main topic here. We're talking about the Democrats in general. I think all the presidential candidates have come out and condemned it too, as part of their own little form of grandstanding, like on Twitter. And it's sad because this should tell you how much they don't that like this is a minor thing. They can't even be that as bothered as to put out an official statement. They have to write some crap on Twitter to get you to go, oh man, they really are concerned about this. Yep. Because the place we can make the most change on is Twitter. If you go on there and write enough nasty stuff to people, it causes them to just completely disappear, like Thanos snapped his fingers. Let's see, what else can I say about this? People are worried that it's going to cross over in other states. I brought up Louisiana earlier. It's like, yeah, but the problem is it's going to have the same issue there where the grandstanding governor signs it and then it still can't be enforced. Like I don't think I've ever heard, and I've followed politics closely for the last maybe 5 or 6 years since 2013. I don't think I've ever heard of this kind of practice where people who are in office are literally admitting that they're going to sign laws that do nothing. Like I'm trying to think. I don't, for all my problems with either Trump or Obama, I don't remember them ever signing a law that they admitted when they signed it, this is unenforceable. Like that goes against the very definition of being a lawmaker. I think it's the same thing with Congress. Like I've never remembered any of these people. What I do remember, I actually take it back, is they'll put up bills like Bernie had the Medicare for All bill. I think it was 2 years ago with the 10 co-sponsors or whatever. It was a little more than that, and they'll say, "Hey, look, the other party controls this chamber, and the other one no chance of passing," which is actually really sad because it's like if you know a law is not going to pass just because people have an R next to their name, you have a D next to yours. That's already tell you how partisan and ridiculous stuff is. But they will have these different summits of having these bills like, okay, this isn't going to pass. We're going to put this out here so that if we ever win the chamber again, which they hope to do the next 2 years to one, we can introduce this again with some improved provisions and then have it be, voted on by a chamber that likely will approve it based on the number of seats we have. But instead, they do that again with the explicit purpose of this can't be enforced at the moment, but give it 2 to however many years before we win these chambers back again, and it can be. In the case of this law, like there's no path forward. Like, what is the Supreme Court is going to wake up one day? Oh man, all these southern states that we knew for years hated abortion rights have put up these laws. It's time for us to get in front of the gavel and quickly change the thing. No, God, it's like these. And remember, a lot of these politicians are lawyers. They're supposed to be esteemed in the law, and they can't figure out that what you're doing is having nor immediate impact or any impact at all. Because again, like the people who are expressing their disenchantment with these abortion laws are the same ones who everyone already knows hates the stuff. That's like if I came on here and I said, I'm going to do a stream for an hour about how progressive I am and how much I hate both parties. Everybody that follows this stuff regularly already knows I hate both parties. So there's no reason to rehash that. I told Democrat voters I'm not voting for Creepy Joe for president. If he gets the Democratic nomination and all they kept bringing up was the Supreme Court and overturning Roe v. Wade, oh yeah, man, all they do is talk. It's why political stuff is so toxic because you have a myriad of issues, right? All these, again, 7 wars that we're in, the economic stuff, and we brought up the statistics multiple times, and like none of that will get talked about, so these different networks can keep rehashing this stupid bill that the people who signed it were so cognizant of how dumb it was that they admit they can't even enforce it. Again, 76% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. Was it over 40% of the homeless have jobs but nowhere to live? Over 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency, and you want to sit up on cable news whining about some bill for all day, for all week that can't even be enforced. That if people wore condoms and stop opening their legs every 5 seconds, we wouldn't even have to worry about the ramifications of. Actually, I take that back because again, there's the part about rape and incest. So that's not completely true, but you get the point with most of these different laws. Like, let's pretend they didn't have the provision, and this should disturb you the most if you're like trying to give credit to Trump or any of these other Republicans. If it didn't have the provision about we're gonna still go after you if you have one, even if it's rape or incest, all of these guys would be on board. They go, yeah, let's trap you with that baby, yeah. And then after we force you to have your kid and you can't afford your home, we can then blame you for being the reason why you're poor in the first place. And then I get devil's advocate is, oh well, they screwed purposefully and whatever. Okay, I get that. I'm just saying that they can't figure out that a lot of the reasons why people don't have children is because they cost money. So when you go around and you say all the poor people in my state are stupid because they had kids, well, huh, you guys are the same ones who tried to make abortion illegal so that they would be forced to have them. So it's all a little circle jerk. It's like, yeah, we're going to trap you with this, and then we're going to blame you that it happened. It's like, no, you guys need to change the laws. Oh, wait, the laws have been changed. That's why Roe v. Wade exists. Oh, what's that? You want to repeal something that's been around for 40 years? Have fun. I think it's like 60+% of Americans support Roe v. Wade. I don't remember what the actual percentage is, but I just know it's definitely the majority, and that's why it's weird that like we still get worked up over this stuff, and it's like I don't know what else to say because I always try to encourage people to get interested in statewide elections, the governor election, senator, congressman, whatever, and for whatever reason they don't vote in these elections, or if they do, they don't pay attention to the votes of their different congress member or senator or whatever, just what they do in office. But then they get surprised and they get crappy laws like this. I guarantee there's a there's like, I would take the whole state of Alabama, right? And I would say that probably, let's be nice, okay? 40% is pro-choice. Do you think that 40% of all the people that live there actively were just following along and were trying to all vote against, like as a coalition against the governor and the senators and the different members of the state legislature? No, because they're not organized. And that's why, like the right wing, again, to like I have problems with them, but to their credit, they've been organized for a very long time. That's why the RNC, under that goofy, what do you call it, nepotism, whatever her name is, McDaniel, whatever. She was smart because she was able to fundraise. I think it was more money for the Republicans last year for a midterm than at any point in history or something like that. And it wasn't like a thing of, oh, well, more people means more money. Like actually, in all the different midterms prior to her taking office, for lack of a better term, they didn't fundraise that much, or they just kind of sat back and went, well, we can win this, no problem. So it's, when you see that, and then you also look at the Heritage Foundation, you look at who are the creators of Obamacare, by the way, for all the people who like to play revisionist history and act like that was some left-wing idea. You're going to notice a pattern where they get together and they do these things and they're for these causes that even if you don't like, you still have to admit are organized. And this is not something on the left. Like, what does the left have that's organized? I guess you could say Planned Parenthood, but that group doesn't really come out and show up that much. Milton Friedman. I thought at first that was gonna be your answer to what we have. All these laws are from foreign people who invaded this land. Best interest of all. They can't remember. Hey, David cracked the code. You know, it'd be funny if, like, right as you say that, the state legislator, like somebody goes in there, right, and they look at the different birth certificates of state legislator members, and they peel off a little white piece of the paper, like a little paper, just piece of paper just pops off, right, and it says place of origin, um, Cuba, and another one is, Africa, and another one is Mexico, another one is China, then Vietnam, like literally everything goes along with what David said, where it's all a bunch of people from other places that came here to influence the law. Oh my god. Like they know the laws suck and they're purposefully trying to blow the US up by having these terrible laws that nobody likes. That are so bad that even the politicians with universally horrible positions have to come out and be like, yeah, that's a little too far for me, buddy. Like, who the hell is sitting up there going, yeah, if you get raped, you should be able to have your child. Like none of the Republicans, except for maybe uh, what's her name? It'll come back to me, but like none of the mainstream ones currently in office, to my knowledge, have been like, oh, you want to make people have kids after they get raped? Sign me right up. Like no one's doing that. And then there's a provision I read where if the doctor who performs the abortion, I guess somehow is brought back to Alabama for for committing this crime, in another state, because they did say, we will come after you if you go to another state to have this, which really is like that goes into stalker. You know how right wing always says big government. That's big state government. You're gonna tell me that you're gonna David, think about this. Oh man, I got this woman knocked up. Let's go to what state next to Alabama? I don't know. Let's just pick a random state. Oregon. Let's fly over there and have the abortion there. And then you go to Oregon. All of a sudden, you get some handcuffs slapped on you. It's the Alabama police. We're taking you. It's the Alabama police. We're taking you back to Alabama so you can go to jail. And the doctor that was going to perform is going to be sent to jail for 99 years. Like that's crazy. And they know it is. That's why the stupid thing can't get enforced. Man, I remember reading that part of the law, the 99 years for the doctor. The goddamn. I mean, like, I don't even think murderers, not murderers like self defense, like, oh, this person told me that I had to do this. Like, the kind of people who just go up in some place and just start blowing people's brains out for no reason. I don't even think they get 99 years. Like, that was like, and I guess that's the ironic part about it, that they're trying to tell you that you're murdering somebody by doing your job. Like, again, think of how insane it is to perform a legal, by virtue of this state you're in, right? So one that's not affected by the Alabama law, a legal abortion in, let's say, California, and then getting expedited to Alabama to sit in jail for doing something that was legal in your jurisdiction. All the states surrounding Alabama are also southern states. I know that, Ruben. That's why I said Oregon and California. I'm not ignorant. It's funny. The only two of those southern states that are really like mainstream places that people want to visit at least one time are, well, arguably three: Texas, Florida, and Georgia. And Georgia's only really like a thing that a lot of people like because of like the civil rights stuff, like with MLK and whatnot. So they think it's not that bad, and you've kind of admittedly seen that a little bit with the sort of purple leaning it has. Say hello to Broad Vulture. I was getting so close to ending the stream. I was like 5 or 6 minutes. I was like, oh, zero. We know what happens when that's the case, when that's the occurrence. It's like these celebrities who get caught for paying for the college, help their children, cheat for the exams. The celebrities, so-called, go to jail. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the kids are in most cases minors, and to be fair, I don't think I should have to go to jail if you paid, like, so again, you as the parent paid for the school to let me in, because I'm not the one who made the transaction. I'm the one who benefits from you committing the crime. I'm not the one who does it myself. Again, I'm not defending the practice. I'm just saying that's the way I think these judges are looking at it. I meant that the states around Alabama most likely all support the abortion law. Oh, I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, but like I said, it's all just a big circle jerk because these people are too stupid to figure out. Like none of these governors give a damn about the sanctity of life. They say that so they can get support from these pro-life groups, and hope to get, I don't know, the next jump start in their career. Like, uh, you look at this governor of Alabama right now. Who's to say that she wouldn't have tried to run for senator or governor herself? If that other guy didn't get out of there. I don't know if you guys remember Bentley. That was the governor of Alabama before Ivy. He got kicked out for having some old affair with this woman, and that was really funny. Like the audio tapes for it, I was laughing and chuckling up and hearing his little accent. He's like, "I wish I could take my finger with you." Like, oh man. Like I was like, that has to be some kind of self parody. There's no way he could think that, like, when you hear this, because I told you guys before about the one person on YouTube who has that channel where she does the hooker voice, and no one knows what she looks like, so it's literally like thousands of guys beaten off to a voice of a person that could, for all you know, could be, just completely hideous. And the joke was that, like, with him, he's not even trying to do, like, his stuff doesn't even sound sexual, but what he's saying is so obviously sexual that it's just this weird combination of the rhetoric itself is lewd, but then the voice is so cartoony and weird. Oh my god. David says they don't care. Bestiality is still legal in like 8 states, and they have done nothing about that. Chimpanzee have more rights than the United States. And somebody, I don't know if any of you talked to David outside this, but somebody piss off David. He's writing a whole bunch of stuff that is fairly suggestive. Oh man, I didn't even read Ruben's comment. Aunt Becky got arrested in the college scam because she's a lackluster celebrity. Man, I really didn't pay that much attention to that scandal. Like, it's just this thing where I know people want to play Apex Legends. I don't know why you would ask me that when I'm talking about the Alabama abortion bill. And you're a mod too. You're supposed to set an example for everybody else. You're supposed to be the highest of the high in terms of the users and various people that show up. Oh, but like I said, that he would have done the exact same thing, and all these people that like this, that support restricting abortion rights. It's all from a place of privilege, and like, I know if you look at some of these senators, they go, "Oh, when I was young, I was poor." It's like, yeah, but not anymore. You're getting, you're all millionaires, and none of you would ever have to worry about. There actually, I think there was a congressman who was pro-life that had his woman go, his squeeze or mistress, whatever the hell, go and abort the thing. In some other place, like another state or whatever, got caught doing it. I could have sworn that happened. I just got back from studying. Sorry, sir. I shall behave now. Hey, bro, Vulture, do me a favor and click on that link. See what it is, and then like report back to me. I don't know what it is. It could be a link to a porn site. And maybe it's a link to one of that chick's videos. Like when you click it, you can be like, "Hello, sir." Like, oh no. It's like I will not be mesmerized by that voice anymore. Is just trying you to write from all that studying. That's all. I'm trying to figure out what that link is. I don't want to click it because again, I don't want to be sent to her sexual conquests, if you will. Oh, you're not going to click that link, bro, Vulture? You're scared too? I know. I'm very fearful. I'm terrified. I'm shaking in my boots. I don't know who this person is. Like I'm starstruck. This is a brand new character. So I'm trying to figure out who he is. Oh wow, how convenient. Well, I guess we'll just live with the mystery. And then you know what's crazy? They won't even like say what it is. Because like if I post a link, usually I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna send you this and this is that, whatever. But I'm supposed to just be like, what's this? I wonder. Like, no, I'm good. Post it somewhere else. Maybe that person will check it out. Can't see more comments. Do I need to have something else special? I'm just looking at the live chat. Like there's a person who I've never seen before who posted a link to some, I think it's a YouTube video. I hope it's on one of hers because that'll terrify me. I have nightmares forever. So it's just going to be a case of, again, live with the mystery. We'll figure out, we'll never figure it out. We'll never really care to figure it out. We'll just kind of think we'll just write it off as something that it might not be, but oh well. It's just a random who makes, I look through her channel. But then why are they posting it here? And how is Ruben able to see that as an admin, but then Brawl Vulture is not able to see that as an admin? Explain that, YouTube algorithm. Can't see it. Then I don't know who can. Oh, ew. I hear about that filth. This is supposed to be PG-13. We don't need anything plus 18. It'd be funny if they had it set up to where YouTube had like a little like you had to put up your ID to prove that you were over 18 to watch certain videos. Like this person said a bad word. All right, I think we pretty much have gone over everything relating to this law and how stupid it is, how people are getting worked up over pretty much nothing. And I'm like, if people like this is again my problem. Like we live in a panic culture where basically as because I've said before, I think people should follow this is weird. Yeah. I don't get it either, David, but you know, it happened. So I said before we live in a panic culture where people will ignore their politicians for just, you know, year after year, week after week, day after day. But then when they do something that the news talks about long enough, suddenly it's a big deal or like some huge story that needs to be discussed and talked about. And I was saying that it's really strange because you have to ask yourself if they don't talk about these laws throughout the entire year and only when it gets national attention do you start caring. Doesn't that say that you maybe should pay more attention to this because maybe they might have done something else that was significant that you just didn't hear about? I remember when we had the single payer healthcare bill here in California, the state legislator one from 2 years ago, when Harris was running for I think senator, and she wouldn't say a word about it. But then wants you to believe that she actually supports it being implemented nationwide, but yet you couldn't say anything about it in your own state. It wasn't talked about by the news that often. It didn't get that much coverage, but people still knew what was going on and wanted to, you know, assist in making it a reality. Over here, it's just like just across the U.S. It seems people have to like the only things they ever get worried about are social issues. Like anytime you have some like think how crazy this is. You have thousands of people dying overseas, no fanfare, right? Getting bombed to death daily, not a problem for Americans, but they hear about some law that the people who signed it admit can't even be enforced, and now it's time to get up in arms and to pull out the protest signs and shout. Um, if it has a clit, it's legit. Just anything they can do to try and protest this, even if it has a much lesser impact than any of the interventions or other things that the U.S. is doing, or their own state government is doing, for that matter. Like, when's the last time you saw any of these people get together and go, we demand a wage increase? Like, just never. It's only when it's stuff relating to what's in between someone's legs or another social issue that they get freaked out over it, because they have a one-track mind that says, pay attention to these 2 or 3 things, everything else completely ignored. So, they post the most important stuff on those slides on the news. Yeah, all the big deals. Yeah, all the major stories. But look, I can see that you guys are getting tired. You're all worn out. It's been a very, very long stream. So I will. I don't know if I'll do one tomorrow, because that's usually when I'm more busy than on average. Maybe I'll know I'll do one by Saturday, but it depends. So I'll see you soon. Have a good day, and don't freak out over a law that literally can't do anything to you because it's unenforceable.